Is it true you are going to be one of the quarterbacks in the Netflix series next year? Are you now one of the quarterbacks to follow you around?
When I went to the tryout, I thought I was spinning it around pretty good, and Peyton walked over and said, "Hey, who let you in here? I think you're at the wrong place, man." Okay. So I just missed the cut, but having experienced that, through last year and having it be such a positive thing for our quarterback, there's nothing but positive things that I could say about it, and I was really happy with the way it all came out, and what a cool thing for our fans and fans around our league to see, what these guys go through day in and day out through the season, not only themselves but their families and everything in between. So it was, it was really something. But unfortunately, Rich,
yes, sir.
I don't think I'm going to get the call for that one.
What would have happened if this Netflix was back in the day and they asked you to do it when Belichick was your coach? What do you think would have happened there, Kevin? Back in the day, what would have happened?
Like most times, I would have, tried to direct that request to our head coach, and it more than likely never would have been heard from again.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't. I definitely at that time, Rich, not only in my career, but at that time in my life, I would have not have felt capable or. I don't know if Netflix would have quite the numbers they had on season one with using my career for the limelight into the NFL quarterback position.
Well, I do bring this up, obviously tongue firmly planted in cheek, but you, I imagine, had to have given the green light to this, right? When did Cousins approach you? Like, what was your role in the green lighting of letting cameras follow your quarterback around all season? Your first as a coach.
First and foremost, it was about figuring out what kind of access that, not only did they want, but what we could provide. I did know we have a beautiful, unbelievable facility here with a lot of capabilities, to help that process be what it ended up being. But my second requirement, just talking with Kirk, knowing him from our previous relationship and just knowing what people would be able to learn about him. I just wanted it to be a positive experience for him. I wanted it to, be something that he could look back on and be happy that he did it, and any role that I could play in helping that, ultimately being smart about, year one of the Minnesota Vikings with me as their head coach. That took priority, and we made some decisions on things we would allow or maybe not allow. And then ultimately working with the folks, that put together the show. They do an unbelievable job of communicating. They film hours upon hours of material, and then, you get a chance to, have some discussions with them once they've been able to cut that down and dialogue just to make sure, that it's authentic, it's accurate. And most importantly, I was proud of the season Kirk had. So when it was all said and done, I just wanted to make sure that was reflected, and can't say enough positive things about just the way they went about it. And then Kirk and his wife Julie and just their willingness, to really open up more than just the quarterback room, more than just Kirk's preparation for games, but open up, the door to for fans to see what a family goes through, not only just a day in the life, but an entire season in the life of a guy that's been playing quarterback for a long time. So just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page. And in the end, like I said, I was really happy with the way, Kirk was, portrayed, because it was an accurate portrayal of, what fans learned about him is who he is, and authentically who he is, and why last year was such a positive for him and I working together.
Yeah, that was going to be my last question, so I'll ask it anyway before we move on to other matters with the Vikings. I don't know how much of quarterback you were able to see, but that said, what do you think fans watching that documentary learned about Kirk Cousins that you already knew, Coach?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see the whole thing. I have seen all of the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk's parts in it. I just think it's really two things that, are really hard to quantify, in the world we live in with stats and fantasy football and being able to look at a stat sheet and see how a quarterback played. I think the two things are just his preparation, both, from a football standpoint, what he goes through every single week to prepare to run our offense week in and week out. But then the physical toll. You'd love to sit here and say, our quarterback's never going to be hit. Our quarterback's going to be able to stand back there and just throw from the pocket all day long. But there's a lot of really, really good defenses and defensive players in this league. And you really have to, I think Kirk even said it at some point, maybe he is a little bit crazy to week in and week out, be back there kind of taking some of those hits and standing in there, with just staring down the barrel and throwing balls and finding JJ and KJ and TJ all over the field. It was, that's part of the requirement of playing the position. These guys know what they sign up for, and to truly maximize, what they can be from a skill set standpoint, throwing the football. There's got to be some real traits in there as far as, your work ethic to prepare. But then when that ball gets kicked off and so much of the game is in your hands, regardless of circumstances, the quarterback controls, everything, and their toughness and their mental toughness to withstand all that goes on in an NFL game in that 3.5 hours. I think that's hopefully what people saw and will come to expect out of our guy.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.